Hey everyone, how are you today? I hope you're doing well. Good morning. Today we have for our class a safety training. It is mandated by the company to take this one. So it is an annual review summary. So we're just going to go over some topics. I'll go over them, and then if you have any questions, we'll have the second part of the day for you to ask any questions that you might have about any of this, because it's all important stuff to have and to remember, especially once we get back to program, which, hopefully sometime soon we'll be able to do something close to that. But I have it here, and so here we go. So number one, what should you do if you see water and or cords on the ground? Well, say you're at program and you see a cord on the ground and it's near water. Now, do you want to touch it? The answer is no. Contact your supervisor. Let them know. But don't leave the area. If you have a phone, you want to flag somebody down, stay at a safe distance away from it. But you also don't want anybody else walking over there and actually getting shocked, because you become a conductor. And, it could actually shock your system, especially if it's near water. So you want to keep a safe distance. And if you have a phone, but have somebody maybe watch the cord. One of you calls the front office. One of you alerts your supervisor, or calls the supervisor and or staff member and just say, "Hey, so I've seen this. I know it's not a good situation. We need somebody to come over and help." Spring or pretty much anyone in the office, we all know where the circuit breakers are, so we can turn them off. And then, once everything's turned off and we're safe, we might even call somebody else in to take care of the wiring problem, like PG&E, just to make sure that nobody gets hurt, because you want to be very careful in those situations. Next is why you shouldn't run on site. Well, one thing is it's please walk. It's a lot safer for everyone if we walk. Trips, falls, things like that happen. You could accidentally run into somebody. You could get yourself hurt. I've seen it before with people that are kind of playing around a little bit too much, and then, nobody takes it really seriously until somebody gets hurt, and then everybody's like, oh. But again, this isn't up to the supervisor. We can remind you, not to do this, and we've done it numerous times. But it's up to you to actually not do it. Because we can't control everything. We can't control the activities of everyone in our group at all times. And so really it needs to be part of yourself that you keep yourself safe and you keep your friends safe. And also, say there was a cord and there was water and you're running around, site, and you didn't even notice because you're running. I mean, you could get seriously hurt, like really seriously hurt. And so we don't want that. We want to make sure that we avoid that at all costs. Okay, next one. Why individuals should follow the directions of the staff they are with for the day. Well, again, that comes to a safety thing. We want to make sure we all stay in the same group. We want to make sure that we all are doing, as a group, what the activity was assigned to do. And, again, you never know when you're going to run into trouble outside, because we're Inroads we're all about. We're a community-based program, so we're everywhere. And you want to make sure that, in each situation, that everybody's safe. It's just like if you go to Disneyland with your family or something like that. You always want to make sure everybody's accounted for. But again, you need to account for yourself and make sure that you know where you are, so no one gets lost. We don't have to go through a missing person sort of incident. We don't want anything like that. And honestly, it's easy because everyone I think at Inroads is very good at staying with staff and alerting them for the most part. Like, hey, I'm gonna go over here for a little bit, or I need to go use the restroom. That's perfectly fine. I let you all know if I need to use the restroom. I'll be like, I need to go use the restroom. It's just letting you all know where I'm going to be, and then this way we kind of have an account of each other because things happen and we need to take care of our things. But we need to be really listening to staff, but we need to be listening to each other as well and looking out for our friends as the day progresses. Okay, next one. Vehicle safety. So no horseplaying around vehicles, no running in parking lots. Be aware of your surroundings. Wear a seatbelt. Don't distract the driver. Follow safety rules for each staff's vehicles. So I went over that kind of fast, but yeah, we all know in the morning we haven't seen each other all night and for part of the rest of the day. And we might not see each other again. So I see people horseplay definitely around the vans. And, don't point fingers and be like, oh, look, they're horseplaying or they're horseplaying. Again, you got to take onus on yourself and say, I'm getting in my van. I'm good to go, so I'm going to find a seat. If you want to talk to somebody, go up and just talk to them. You don't need to push them or prod them, or anything like that. You just need to, go up and say, hey, how's it going? How was your weekend? How was the rest of your day? I heard this happened. I mean, you all keep in contact with each other more than staff knows, really. And you deserve that privacy. But when we're horseplaying around vans, especially when we park at the Hilltop parking lot, I mean, there are police officers driving around there all the time, and sometimes they kind of look at us, especially when people are running around like, what's going on here? So yeah, don't run in the parking lots. Again, it's just as dangerous. You could actually trip and fall and really hurt yourself. I think so far we've been pretty lucky, but we've also had people rushing into vans, and we've had people get hurt that way. Or like shutting doors before they know that somebody's completely in a van, We just need, it's common sense. Just to make sure, kind of check your surroundings, like, all right, is everything good? Now let's shut the door. Staff have eyes, and we're watching all the time, but at the same time, we don't see everything that's going on. And so, again, the onus falls on you when it comes to situations like that. And I promise you, parents have our back when it comes to that. Because, most of the time when we talk to parents, they're like, yep, sometimes that happens even here at home. So it's best to keep yourself in check. I don't like to say it that way, but the onus is on you. So again, yeah, and being aware of your surroundings, again, just for safety. Make sure everybody's safe, and don't slam the doors. If somebody's coming up to heckle you or something like that, let a staff know. And if needs be, we'll get out of the van and say, but, really, we're adults. We can do this. Wear a seatbelt. Click it or ticket. I have to have a seatbelt on. I ever see anybody without a seatbelt on, you know what I'll do. I'll pull over and I'll wait. If they refuse, I'll have somebody come pick them up. And eventually, a seatbelt will be put on. Because, again, if we get a ticket, it's for both me and the person that doesn't have a seatbelt on. And I'm not getting a ticket. Well, yeah, I don't want to get a ticket. But at the same time, I don't want you to get a ticket. But you'll have to pay that ticket if that happens. So wear a seatbelt. It's easy. Saves lives. It really does. And don't distract the driver. That all depends on the driver. But if they're saying you're being distracting, or if they need to concentrate for a moment, because that's usually what I say. I say, hold on one moment. Like, I need to concentrate. Because I like having conversations in the van. Because we spend a lot of time in there. But if I say, just, one sec. I gotta figure out this turn that I'm gonna take and make sure that we get to our destination on time and everything. Don't distract them at that time, even if it was like in the middle of a really serious conversation. Oh, follow safety rules for each staff's vehicle. Well, yeah, I mean, again, it's seat belts, everything like that. Don't distract the driver. Um, every staff has different rules for their van. I only have pretty much one rule besides the seatbelt thing, but that's California rule. That's not DJ rule. But I also agree with it. But it's don't eat in my van. That's mine. But other staff may have different rules for their van. But no matter what, don't pull the whole. Because I've had it happen. Like so and so lets me eat in their van, or so and so lets me do this in the van. No, see, you're in the staff's van, and that's our van, and that's our responsibility to take care of the van. And so I just have a no eating in the van rule. It keeps everything cleaner, and unless it's an emergency, which I will change my mind then and say, oh, well, there's nothing we could have done about this. So I'll change my mind this time, but then we're going right back to the same rule. But that's mine. But, each staff has something different that they enforce in their van. And, it's courteous because they're driving you around to go do different things. Sometimes work, sometimes volunteering, but a lot of times fun as well. So it's basic courtesy to be nice to the staff that's driving you around. All right, number 4, fire drill. If in the community, know where the exits are for buildings, libraries, stores that you enter or where they are. So it's true. Like if we're at the library or at the store, you want to make sure that you locate all the exits. I do this naturally. So if you're in my group, the minute I go in, I kind of start looking around like, well, what's the best way out of here if we need to get out of here, especially as a group. Because in a bad situation, people tend to rush, and that can cause more injuries than it does help a lot of the time. Some people see smoke when there's no fire, and then but no matter what, it's kind of instinct to run. But we won't all get out safely together. So we should always check for those. If at the center evacuation points is by the trash cans, so that's in the very back by Nancy's program, you want to go by the trash cans, not cans, but the dumpsters really. If at the front office, it's in the parking lot where we park the vans, and kind of up the hill, depending on how bad the situation is. But we wait for spring. All right, earthquake drill. If possible, go underneath a table. You want to cover your neck and stay down. And we've gone through these drills before, and they forgot about us before. But at the same time, we stayed there until they're like, oh, we're sorry, we missed this room. But that's what you want to do. You also want to grab a table leg, because what would happen in an earthquake is that table, like this one that's right here, it would start to bounce around, and then you're not covered at all. So you want to be careful with that. So if you hold on to it, though, you can kind of keep yourself covered the entire time. And I've never been in a huge earthquake. I've been in small ones, but even those are frightening. Like you're like, whoa, what just happened? This is not good. So go under the table, cover your neck, protect your organs, But really, you want to just protect your head is the most important thing. If there's no desk or table available, go over to an interior wall, drop to the floor, and cover your neck. So an interior wall is one, like right here I have, you can't see it. My computer might turn off if I spin it too much. But see, there's a window right there. So if an earthquake were to happen right now, I would avoid this. I would go over to this side, over here. See, because there's no glass or anything like that. So any place that has glass that's going to smash on you or anything like that, you want to avoid that if you can't find a table. And then you want to duck down, again, cover your neck, and get down as close as you can, kind of in the fetal position, but kneeling down. And you should stay safe. Okay, so say we're outside. You don't want to enter any buildings. Stay away from tall trees because they may fall. Again, stay away from windows or anything that can fall on you. Try to get to an open space. I remember as a kid, I always knew where I was going to go whenever I heard about earthquake drills. Even in Utah, they have it. And I was like, well, I know where I'm going if I'm outside. And it was like right in the middle of a field where there were no power lines, there's no trees. And we played football there, but, it'd be like, this is where I'm going to go. And, and get down. Okay, so if in the vehicle, staff will pull over at a safe location away from anything that can fall on the vehicle. That says demonstration. Well, I don't know, I'm driving. But what'll happen is the road will suddenly kind of feel like you're driving on like little hills. It'll just go boom, 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 boom. Because suddenly the road will start to go up and down. Now, staff, what they're going to do is they're going to decrease their speed, because you don't want to be driving too fast, and look for a place where we can pull over that is away from trees, that's as in open a place as possible for the time being. But at the same time, a lot of other people are going to be skidding out, so you want to find a place. As staff, I would want to find a place as soon as possible, as soon as safely possible, to get over. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. Once staff is pulled over, we're going to hold our necks and protect our organs and wait for the earthquake to pass. But again, it needs to be safe. We don't want to park near a hill where, say the earthquake gets bad enough to where things start to landslide. We want to be away from that. So bomb threat. If you see anything suspicious, you want to report it. Don't touch anything. Again, spraying is the person, depending on where we are. If it's a staff and you say, hey, that backpack looks weird, somebody just dropped it there and then they took off, you want to let the staff know, and then we should alert the police. So report it, but don't touch anything. Don't use your cell phones because it might actually set the device off. And then follow staff directions and be ready to evacuate. So this is kind of if you're on site. Out in the community, if we see things like that, again, we're going to report it to the authorities. And then we're going to hightail it out of there. And we're going to not even touch our cell phones. Don't even turn them off because you might accidentally have something else happen. We're just going to leave them off. Okay, regular evacuation route. Kitchen by the dumpsters, front office, the parking lot. Alternate evacuation is Hilltop Mall. So if it is a real bomb threat and we've done all the steps that we're supposed to do with staff, we're going to get out and we're going to go to the Hilltop Mall and kind of get away from the site, because we're not going to lock down in that situation. Sometimes we might be on lockdown, but that's for other situations. When it comes to a bomb threat, we want to have as many people away safely away as possible. Utility failure, basically the lights go out. There are flashlights in the bathroom. Doesn't affect inroads too much. So, again, we're community-based. But, when we get back through this next little while, it's possible we're going to be holding classes on site. It's possible. So it is good to know and maybe ask Spring from a safe distance where the flashlights are in each place, but there's one in each bathroom. And we should know that, and we should know where they are, and hopefully we're all tall enough to grab them. Shelter in place. So if if you're just arriving and there is a shelter in place, turn around and leave the site. So if I'm getting there and I get a call from Kevin or I get a call from Marie or Derek and they say, "Hey, we're sheltered in place," they'll say stay off site. What I would do then is I would drop you all off at home, and then that would be it for that day. And then what I would do, and I've had to do it before when we shelter in place, is leave my own car there and take the van home and then bring it back the next day, which I don't like doing because I like Jackie, my car. But at the same time, it's better that everybody's safe. Okay, but if you are on site and it's shelter in place, lock the door, close the blinds, turn off lights, silence cell phones, go to the bathroom, lock the door, be as quiet as possible, wait for the all clear. And what you want to do is what you're going to hear is if something is happening on site, is Spring will announce or someone will announce, most likely Spring, alert, George Miller, alert. That means we're sheltering in place. So if we're having like the DMV class, then, and we hear that, it's time to shelter in place. Close down the blinds, do everything we can to make sure we're all safe. Violent incident procedure. Lockdown. That's the same as shelter in place. All clear will come from the police as opposed to, say, Spring in the event of an actual lockdown. If a drill, wait for Spring to give the all clear. So again, we are waiting on Spring. Spring's not there that day and they're running the drill, or if something really happens, we need to wait for whoever that we know from program or a police officer comes in and says, "You're clear, everything's good to go." I'm going to adjust this a little bit. There we go. Missing person. So we've gone over this, but so let's go over it just a tiny bit more. Call the cell phone of the lost person. All individuals will gather together to search the building and surrounding area together. So not breaking up into small little, clumps of people, because somebody else might get lost. Staff will notify the PC or program coordinator. So after 15 minutes, if the person has not been found, law enforcement and administration will be notified, and another staff member may take the other individuals from your group. So if somebody did get lost for an extended period of time, eventually we do need to call the authorities, and we need to let admin know. And what they'll do is they'll start to call families and things like that and say, we're working on it. We're not sure exactly what happened. I've had this happen before at other programs where, staff have accidentally and or irresponsibly left people in their group. And so, again, we need to take the onus on ourselves to make sure that we stay with group and make sure that we notify staff if we're going to go do something. And stay within eye shot. As long as the staff can see you and you say, "Hey, I'm going to take a walk around this park. I'm going to stay on the trail," and I can see you, then I'm fine with it. You're getting steps in, you're doing your exercise. But if you decide like, "Hey, I saw this interesting thing over here. I'm going to go walk a mile away or, half a mile away even," then, it becomes potentially very dangerous for you and also, for the rest of the group, because we are going to go and look for you. And then after 15 minutes, you might have police officers picking you up, which, I don't want to see that. And luckily, I haven't seen that at inroads at Okay, next one. Emergency lights, exit signs. We should know where all of those are. The emergency lights go all the way around the building. Look for exit signs. There's next to pretty much every exit there. There's an exit sign saying exit here, or it's right on the door. So just make sure, and that way you know it's a good exit. The safety bulletin board, which is a good thing to always know where it is. It's in the kitchen by the door, and in the staff room in the front office. So yeah, if you go to the front office, you go to the back, there's going to be a safety board. It's where the coffee's made, and for staff. And you look, and it's got everything you need for safety. Next one, infectious disease control. So make sure we're washing our hands when we get back to program for at least 20 seconds. Doing the ABCs as you're washing your hands is a good thing, but not ABCD, and go really fast. You want to choose A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Sanitize. We'll have sanitizer in every van. And if you're sick, please stay home. Same with staff. And everything else. Everything that relates to COVID-19 can be reviewed here. So we've done our COVID-19 training, or at least I have. It was something that I did kind of on my own because I want to make sure everybody knows. But, know the signs and symptoms. And again, you can always re-review the videos that I have made. And these are from the CDC, from the WHO, or the World Health Organization. And you want to make sure that, we're following these guidelines, especially as we get back to program. Okay, so first aid. So we have first aid kits in the vehicles. It's going to be, mine is in the big red bag. I'm going to have to check that when we get back. And so if, say you do get hurt or bleeding, what you need to do is report any injuries to your friends, but most importantly to a staff member. So if accidents happen. I mean, I've cut myself working at the park before and had to put a Band-Aid on. Like, it was a small cut, but things happen. And I've seen a couple of y'all actually hurt yourselves accidentally. And I'd never get mad at accidents. If you're running around and being crazy, then I'm like, well, it's kind of on you. You know not to do that. But if you're picking up something and like a thorn pierces your hand or something like that, I will take care of it. I have my CPR and first aid, card, so I will. But definitely let somebody know that you're bleeding. The main thing you don't want to do is continue to bleed and use the equipment that you're using that other people might use, because then it's cross-contamination. You're getting your blood all over something that somebody else is going to use at some point. And, we want to stay safe. I wouldn't want you ingesting anybody else's blood and right to the reverse, So we just all need to stay safe and let people know. Just report it to each other. Facility safety rules and safety signs. So, it's always good to know where the exit signs are. The fire alarms, which are pretty easy because they're in red. And smoke alarms, which are the ones that do the blinking. So, but always recognize where those are. And pay attention. If they go off, we need to let people know. Like, something's happening. And last one. Reporting injury or illness, tell staff that you were with for the day what happened. So, it's happened before where people get sick and they need to go home. Just let the staff member know, like, I'm not feeling good. I don't know why, but I think I should go home. And what I would do is I would either contact another staff member or somebody in the office to see if maybe they could take you home. But if I'm near your house, I'm going to take you home. But let us know. I just don't feel right. I think I should go home. And, let me know how you're feeling. Let me know if you need. I have a garbage can that I've given to people before. Like if you have to throw up here. And then, just let me know. It might have been something you ate. It could be a lot of different things. But, just keeping us all in the loop. Well, that's it for the annual review. I miss all of you, and I hope to see you all very soon. All right. Ciao for now.